The most common English word synonym for Satan is devil, which descends from the Middle East devil, from the Old English devol. That is a represent of early Germanic borrowing from Latin debulus. This turned into borrowed Greek word slanderer. The New Testament of the word Satan, diabolos, are used interchangeably as synonyms. Velizab, meaning the Lord of Flies, is continuous name given to Hebrew Bible and New Testament and Palestinian God, whose original name has been reconstructed as most probably Beelzebub, Baal, prince. The Synoptic Gospels identify Satan Beelzebub as the same. The Adam Badam is used 6 times in the Old Testament, mainly as a name for one of the regions of Sheol. Revelations 9:11 describes Abaddon, whose is the name translated into the Greek as a destroyer, as an angel who rules the abyss. In modern usage, Abaddon is quite equated with Satan. New Testament, Gospels, Acts, and Apostles. The 3 synoptic apostles all describe the temptation of Christ by Satan. In the desert, Satan first shows Jesus a stone and tells him to turn it into bread. He also takes them to the pinnacle of the temple in Jerusalem and commands Jesus to throw himself down so that the angels will catch him. Satan takes Jesus to the top of the mountain as well. There he shows him the kingdoms of the earth and promises to give them all if he bow down and worship him. Each time Jesus rebukes Satan, and after the third temptation he is administered by the angels. Satan is promised in Matthew 4:8-9 and Luke 4:6-7 to give Jesus all the kingdoms of the earth implies that all those kingdoms belong to him. The fact that Jesus does not dispute Satan's promise indicates that the authors of those Gospels believe that this is true. Satan plays a big role in the parables of Jesus, namely in the parable of sower, the parable of weeds, the parable of sheep and goats, the parable of strong man. The latter 2 parables say that Satan's followers will be punished on Judgment Day, with the parable of sheep and the goats stating that the devil, his angels, and the people who follow him will be consigned to the eternal fire. With Pharisees accuse Jesus of exorcising demons through the power of music. The Synoptic Gospel identifies Satan and his demons as causes of illness, including fever, while the Epistle of Hebrews describes the devil as him who holds power over death. The author of Luke Acts attributes more power to Satan than both Matthew and Mark. In Luke 22, Jesus grants Satan the authority to test Peter and the other apostles. Luke 22:3-6 states that Judas betrayed Jesus because Satan entered him. And in Acts 5:3, Peter describes Satan as filling Ananias' heart and causing him to sin. The Gospel of John only uses the name Satan 3 times. In John 8:84, Jesus says that Jewish or Judean enemies are children of the devil rather than the children of Abraham. The same verse describes the devil as a man-killer from the beginning and a liar and the father of lying. John 13:2 describes the devil as inspiring Judas to betray Jesus. In John 12, identifies Satan as the Akron of this cosmos, who is destined to be overthrown through Jesus' death and resurrection. Promises the Holy Spirit will accuse the world concerning sin, justice, and judgment, a role resembling that of Satan in the Old Testament. Jude 9 refers to a dispute between Michael the archangel and the devil over the body of Moses. Some interpreters understand this reference to be an allusion to the events described in Zechariah. The classical theologian Origen attributes this reference to the non-canonical assumption of Moses. According to James H. Charlesworth, there is no evidence that the surviving book of this name ever contained any such content. Others believe it to be lost in the ending book. The second chapter of the second Epistle of Peter and the pseudo-letter, which falsely claims to have been written by Peter, copies much of the content to Apostle Jude, but omits the specifics of example regarding Michael and Satan with Peter, instead mentioning only ambiguous dispute between angels and glories. Through the New Testament, Satan is referred as Temper, the ruler of demons, the god of this age, the evil one, and a roaring lion. Book of Revelation. The Book of Revelation represents Satan as a supernatural ruler of the Roman Empire and ultimate cause of all evil in the world. In Revelation, as a letter, Simna John refers to the Jews' synagogue of Satan and warns the devil is about to cast some of you into prison and test, and for 10 days you will have affliction. In Revelation, in the letter of Church Pergamum, John warns that Satan lives amongst the members of the congregation and declares Satan's throne in their midst. Pergamum was the capital of Roman province of Asia, and Satan's throne may be referring to the monumental altar in the city which dedicated to the Greek god Zeus, or the temple dedicated to the Roman Emperor Augustus. Revelation describes a vision of a red dragon with 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns, and a massive tail. An image which is likely inspired by the vision of the 4 beasts from the sea in the book of Daniel and Leviathan, described in various Old Testament passages. The red dragon knocks a third sun, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars out of the sky, and pursues the woman of Apocalypse. Revelation declares a war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against Dragon. Dragon and his angels fought back, but they were defeated, and then they were no longer had a place in heaven. Dragon the Great was thrown down, that ancient serpent who called devil and Satan, the one deceiving the whole inhabited world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. The voice booms down from heaven, heralding the defeat of the accuser, identifying Satan of Revelation with the Satan of the Old Testament. In Revelation, Satan is bound with a chain and hurled into an abyss where he is imprisoned for 1,000 years. He is set free and gathers his armies with Gog and Magog to wage war against the righteous, but was defeated with the fire from heaven and cast to the lake of fire. Some Christians associate Satan with the number 666, which Revelation describes as the number of the beast. However, the beast is mentioned in Revelation is not Satan, and the use of 666 is the book of Revelation has interpreted as a reference to the Roman Emperor Nero, as the number and value if his name is in Hebrew.